I've just gotten back from the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Smithsonian on a wonderful trip on the East Coast. It really locked in for me the need to have the conversation about how we are pixelating reality. At how we are changing our now and our here. Looking through the cell phone, the mobile camera, specifically the smartphone lens, to both reframe and defer our now through living through our smartphone screen. So this is meant to be the start of a conversation, which we would love to continue at South by Southwest, talking about how we are intermediating our reality through deferring it, and in some ways blocking other people through capturing reality through our screens. Susan Sontag said, to photograph is to frame, and to frame is to exclude. We're doing that in our decisions to consume our live experiences by deferring it through our digital means. We are re-identifying it, reconnecting it, including people who aren't here, but we're also excluding being present in the current reality. Now, we do that all the time in conferences. This is a shot from a fairly recent San Francisco Music Tech conference where wonderful speakers were speaking in the front of the room, but as usual, we had a gentleman yawning in the back there, but we have a lot of people who are not just multitasking, but are multi-placing, that they are not at the event that they're paying time and money to be at. They're instead connecting to many other things while they're attempting to listen and not even look at the people that they are sitting around at what really is a networking event. It's not just at major conferences. This is a picture of tourists at Lincoln Center in New York who, in some cases, they're spending time together, but we have a decent concentration of people taking a look at the very small screens instead of the people around them, the people that they're with, or their experience in New York. But what if we're actually someplace for a purpose? Are we taking ourselves out of that time to connect with a loved one or to be somewhere else? Are we changing what is then the, for example, museum going or travel experience? Now, we've all had the experience of, as this young man is doing, is sketching. This is a wonderful Degas statue. Sketching it in order to capture it for memory, for skill building, for thinking about other pieces of art later and having a model from which to work. But is this the same experience in taking a look at this and grabbing a cell phone snapshot and no necessarily additional data that except for it geotagging and time coding when you're capturing this picture? Is it that we're using these digital cameras to, instead of recognizing them as what they are, that we are making very casual pictures to take other pieces of art and incorporate them with our family to show we've been here? And this was very common that I saw on my recent visit to the Smithsonian, that a lot of people were taking pictures of major pieces of art with their children, who they'll look back at this picture later and go, I have no idea what that piece of art is, but there's my kid at this age, with another piece of art, of course, on his shirt, adding some interesting mixed context. This is the image that I saw over and over again in my recent travels. Now, notice this person is taking a picture up close, like that is going to make a difference. The concept of zooming that we would have with other cameras maybe not there. And really looking through the lens to capture what the image is of it, but no information about what that image actually is and not capturing any of its context. It's almost like people are on a photo safari, that they're off to capture as many of these images to take home for sharing, for proving that they were there, to memorialize their memories of the experience, but they're looking through the lens to capture many of those memories. It is a little voyeuristic, of course, taking pictures of people taking pictures, a little meta, as I'm capturing through my experience watching them through their lenses. But it does bring me to the question, is this the museum experience? Is this the travel experience? Is this the vacation experience of our days to come? That walking with somebody else to be able to have that piece of content as a communication. Are we going to be sending this picture without any context to our friends to show what? That I've been here? Are we instead going to be having people
at events and not at events. Here we have part of a Boy Scout troop. We were very adjacent to Camporee and had a gigantic number of Boy Scouts teaming through the museums. And like as not, you would have the Boy Scouts not even talking to each other, though we have the boys looking together on the right at a screen, but not at the museum. Now, I'm used to this with my own teenagers, but what is really being present and engaged? Here, they're not even here. And meanwhile, the whole museum experience is going on around them, and they've, of course, found the comfy chairs. So is it really about collaborating and putting our heads together around these tiny screens to be able to communicate but an experience that's going on around us? Or is it the fact we can teleport ourselves into another space and not actually have to be on vacation? Or is it that there's something else going on? That we are living in a time of more than one time and place? That we are hiding? That we are putting ourselves away and feeling that it's socially normal to separate ourselves from the live experience and to dive into a digital there instead of a digital here. This is beginning to go into the concert experience. This is from a fairly recent concert, asking people that they actually enjoy the 3D show instead of spending a tremendous amount of energy on taking pictures and video. And the one that was also happening is Beyonce talking to a fan in July of 2013. She was trying to get him to sing into a mic and he would not put his camera down and stop taping. See, you can't even sing because you're too busy taping. I'm right in your face, baby. You gotta seize this moment, baby. Put that damn camera down. So is it that we're pixelating reality, that we are taking reality and taking it into chunks that we can defer and send and ship and changing the reality of our live experience? Is it that we are creating a new distancing technology, that we are stepping away from where we are and allowing us to shove it into a different temporal zone? As one of my friends says, is it digital voyeurism? Are we looking to look? That we are feeling that we are capturing things to peer in on and providing those opportunities to our friends? Is it auto-voyeurism, that our experience now is to capture automatically pictures and images, and that is part of our new process and the new way we expect to be able to observe and not be actually participating? Is it the fact we actually now need evidence for our memories? Or as one of my other friends calls it, evidence-based sightseeing. You haven't been there now unless you actually have the picture to show that you've been there. And that is now taking up more energy than actually being present and live. So is it that we are now reconnecting over devices at events, that we have this little digital hearth we're carrying? Is it that our goal is to bring these experiences to other people, and that is of as much importance as actually being there live? Or are we separating our experiences from those who are live with us? Now we wear headsets at museums. We have different means of having separated digital technology. How does that impact the design, the creation, as a lot of museum science people are doing, and taking a look at how we actually experience the artifacts that are our museum with our own narratives and stories? So is it that what's important isn't necessarily grabbing the picture and taking it home, but that information that might be catching up with our children that aren't there and seeing what's happening with the babysitter, or looking up a piece of information about the art? And that's what we're really prompting as to thinking about how these digitally connected people are not just going to be taking things to Instagram, but having whole new levels of connection and reconnection and interpersonal connection around the pieces we're giving them. Is it that our memories of an event are going to be digital and not necessarily the pen on the ground evidencing that we've been there? Or maybe this is our new pen on the ground. Please join me at Marimal.com. We're continuing with a new area called Cyborg Living, and we are excited to be taking a look at the social impact of digital connection, and especially on playing with here, now, and together. Thanks a lot.